What is going on, guys? Welcome back to this week's episode of Punters Playbook, where we look at sports betting. Okay, mainly rugby league, UFC. Okay, but yeah, we look at who's going to win, who's going to lose, where the money's going, who you should be backing. All right, that's Punters Playbook. Okay, it's an inside scoop onto what's good and what's not, right? From a professional sports bettor who hasn't won a bet since November of last year. But let's not look at that, and let's just look at the fact that it's a game of chance, and I could be losing for universal issues and not just skill issues. So enough of that splurb aside. Let's jump into it. Manly Sea Eagles versus St. George Illawarra Dragons. I'm going to go through and I'm going to do my picks for the games. I'm going to sort of, because my picks can be different from my bets. My bets can be different from my picks and what I think's actually going to happen, okay? That's something I want to clarify going forward, is sometimes I'll put a bet on, but that's not my pick. That's not who I'm tipping to win the game. That's my bet, right? So I'm going to go through, I'm going to do my picks like I was in a tipping comp, okay? So we're going to go through, we're going to, Manly versus St. George Illawarra. This is a pretty interesting game because it's rugby league, man. It's rugby league. It's simple. But a lot of times it's not. It's rugby league and it's really fucking confusing, okay? And the Manly Sea Eagles should win this one on paper. It's for 4 points on the hill. Home ground advantage in that. But St. George Illawarra are like sitting up there with the Titans as the most unpredictable team in the comp. 1 week they're going to beat the Melbourne Storm in a close nail biter. And then the week after that they're going to lose to Parramatta. Okay, that is the definition of inconsistency. That is the definition of inconsistency in 2025 rugby league, NRL. But, with a lot of soul searching and whatnot going into this, I'm going with Manly to win. Okay, Manly have won their last 2 outings against St. George Illawarra in the 2024 season. Okay, so I'm gonna take Manly to win this one. All right, I think what I said last week, I still believe that Manly isn't a lose 2 in a row team. Even though they did, I just don't think they're going to lose 3 in a row. All right, especially to the Dragons. I think this is a bit of a layup for Manly, and I didn't want to just breeze past it and go, "Well, Manly going to win this." I did want to give the Dragons a little bit of a chance because they're unpredictable. Okay, but I am going to take Manly on this one. Lock that one in. Canterbury Bulldogs versus South Sydney Rabbitohs. Look, the Rabbitohs, they're my team, they're my club. Okay, they're my team, they're my club. But I think we're a little bit outgunned. We're missing a lot of big names. Bulldogs have got a full squad. First time for the season, they've got a full squad. Burton's back and whatnot. So, dude, this is... You hate to go against your club, but in a tipping aspect, when you're in a tipping comp, you're picking who's going to win these games from a sports analysis standpoint. You got to kind of look at the Bulldogs, right? Because they're undefeated, and yes, they haven't played the best competition, but I don't think South Sydney is I don't think Rabbitohs are the best competition right now as it stands. I don't think we stand out as a team that's going to beat Melbourne Storm or anything. So I gotta lean towards the Bulldogs. But there's a couple of things to remember, okay? It's Good Friday, and these teams turn up for Good Friday games, right? Both teams are going to play hard. It's at a Core Stadium, so it's neutral ground, but Rabbitohs have a higher win percentage at the venue. So Rabbitohs, it's sacred ground. A Core Stadium, everyone knows a Core Stadium is sacred ground. And, Campbell Graham's back. Cody Walker's back, and we got Lewis Dodd in the number 14. So these are a couple of things that I wouldn't look past the South Sydney Rabbitohs in this one. In fact, you know what? Captain goes down with his ship. I'm taking South Sydney Rabbitohs to win this one, guys. The captain goes down with his ship, all right? Simple. It's rugby league. It's simple. Dolphins versus Melbourne Storm. I'm going with Melbourne Storm. This one's a pretty easy one. It's just Melbourne Storm look like world beaters right now. You can play them in New Zealand, you can play them in Darwin, you can play them at Suncorp or Redcliffe, wherever they're playing, alright? The Dolphins are just not going to beat Melbourne Storm, okay? I might be contradicting myself later on in the video, but I'll deal with it when we get there, okay? But I'm going to take Melbourne Storm on a tipping standpoint. I'm taking Melbourne Storm. Warriors versus Broncos. This is a bit of a tight one. It's a bit of a hard one to pick because yes, the Broncos, they win games. They got a great side. I say it every week. It's probably just sound like a broken record, beating a dead horse, righty rah. But I mean, the Warriors at home, Auckland. I'm pretty sure. Come on, man. Come on, cuz. Like, I just feel like that home ground advantage for the Warriors is so big that, you kind of got to be a bit of a special team to beat them when they're there. Not saying it's never been done. It's done. It happens often. Okay, it happens often. But, I mean, the Broncos just lost to the Roosters at Suncorp. And I think the Warriors have a really good side. And they play really tough footy. Like that Tigers game, for example. The never say die attitude to just not throw in the towel. Just keep on pushing forward. Go to the last minute, all right? So I like the Warriors to win this one. I'll probably be regretting it come Sunday afternoon when all the results are in for the tipping comp. But I'm going to die on that hill. Roosters versus Penrith. I just want to go ahead and state that last week when Roosters played the Broncos, I said, all right, I'm not sure if I said it on the record, but it came out of my mouth. Pause. I said that the same team can't beat you, in 6-7 rounds, you know what I mean? It just can't happen. They can't beat you twice. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. They can't beat you twice in that amount of rounds. It's too soon. 6 weeks, for example, when Roosters Brisbane played, 6 weeks was barely 2 months ago. Right? It wasn't, in fact. So the same logic is going to apply here. I'm going to take Penrith Panthers to beat the Roosters for 2 reasons. First one, which I just stated, I just don't think the same team can beat you twice in that amount of rounds, right? In that many weeks. And then the second point, yes, it's this big thing. The Penrith Panthers, they're dying, they're falling off the rocker, right? They're shit, okay? But I think eventually they've got to win a game. They've got to win a game in Australia, and why not be against the Roosters, bro? Okay, they've got to win a game eventually, and I'm gonna lean towards Penrith. I've backed Penrith every week since the Vegas games, so I'm taking Penrith again. Okay, surprise, surprise. Might not work out for me, but shit, it might just. All right, there might be a little bit of rugby league genius going into this pick. All right, so yeah. Titans versus Raiders. Look at Seabus. If you do a little bit of a nitty-gritty dive into the stats, Canberra Raiders actually have the better win record at Seabus, which is a little bit shocking, but yeah. I like the Raiders to win this one. I think the defense is maybe a little bit too much, but then again, in saying that, you've got probably up there with St. George Dragons, the most unpredictable, inconsistent team in the league, in the Gold Coast Titans. Like, yeah, they just lost the Dragons, but will they come back and probably beat the Canberra Raiders, who are in great form? Probably. Shit. Like, this is just what makes it so confusing. So, I might be having like a fever dream or something, but I feel like they already played and the Titans already beat them. Am I tripping? I feel like I'm tripping. Someone fact check that. Might come back at the end of the video and check that. But I am taking Canberra Raiders. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans have that fast, unpredictable footy that they've been playing, and they can, score a few more tries over the Canberra Raiders. So yeah, my final pick is Canberra Raiders. Newcastle Knights versus Cronulla Sharks. Cronulla Sharks, easy. Knights are shit. And then West Tigers versus Parramatta Eels. I'm just going to quickly go ahead and say Parramatta, and then we'll come back to this when we do talk about the bets, because it's a little bit of a juicy game. It's a sleeper juicy game. It's pretty sure the second time they've played already this season. And Or it might be the first one. I don't know. I'm getting lost. It's round 7 of rugby league. It's rugby league. It's simple. Yeah, this one's juicy. This is the drama. Total drama rugby league of the round. Okay, so we'll come back to this one. But we're going to get into the stuff that everyone's here for, the bets, all right? The bets. First up, Manly versus Dragons. My bet for this game, all right? I've got a pencil in my hand. I wanted to look official for this. My bet for this game, I picked him nearly 3 or 4 weeks in a row to score a try, and he hasn't. All right? I'm starting to look like an idiot. But I'm going Ola Kawatu. He's got to score eventually. Why not score against the Dragons, all right? I'm following that up with Ruben Garrick, Ruby G. Mess your name up. Pretty sure he was the first ever winner of Fighting Field Insights Player of the Round, so round of applause for that. But I've got Ola Kawatu, Ruben Garrick, and I'm going Tyrell Sloan. A little 3-way anytime try scorer. Boom. That's my multi for that one. I don't have any prices calculated, so I'm a little bit unprepared. I'll be better next week. On to the Dogs Bunnies game. I am going to head and hit. Probably jump into the anytime try scorers, just so you guys, if you guys want to have a brief look. Jump on in that, please. Please, can we pull that up? Anyway, that's going to load. It's going to take for a million years. Dogs versus Bunnies. My official multi for the game. Nice and easy one. Nice and simple one. Can't go wrong kind of multi. I'm going Kalamatangi anytime. And I'm going the game to go over 44.5 points. I know the Doggies have kept games tight this season. But I'm a Rabbitohs fan. I believe that we're going to put some points on them. So yeah, I'm going to go Kalamatangi over 45. Over 44.5, sorry. That's my official multi for this one. But yeah, there's some juice in this one, guys. There is some real juice in this, especially if you're looking for South Sydney anytime try scorers. Jai Gray, obviously, scoring tries like there's no tomorrow. Latrell Mitchell's paying big. Jack Whiten's paying big. Euron Aiken, who's just scored last week, paying big. Keon Kalamatangi, obviously our boy in this multi. He's paying quite handsomely as well. Looking quite handsomely as well. I mean, the guy's ripped. Completely off topic of sports betting. Next up, Dolphins Storm. This is where I said I'd come back in the video and contradict myself. I'm taking the Dolphins. Okay? Got a little bit of a theory in my head, and it was the same thing that applied last week with the Roosters-Broncos game. Soon as any money line, team to win, betting odd goes over 350, I'm taking it. I'm jumping on it. Don't care. I'm jumping on it. So yeah, are the Dolphins on paper better than the Storm? No. Okay. Have the Dolphins been playing good? Yes. All right. Do I think the Dolphins are going to win? Probably not. All right. But the betting odds are high, and it's rugby league, and a lot of the times it's not simple. A lot of the times it's unpredictable. So that's what kind of backs me up there for that pick. Dolphins on the money line. Come on, cuz. New Zealand Warriors, Broncos. My pick for this one, nice simple one. Wars 1-12. Kurt Catwell to score any time. All right. Probably thinking, buddy, why you got Kurt Catwell scoring any time? Let me tell you. Kurt Catwell's playing in the centres. All right. We don't see him there all that often. I don't think. I mean, I'm not really up to date with Kurt Catwell's career, but I know he spent a little bit of time in the forward pack. So, I like Curdy Capes in the centres. Right? I like Curdy Catewell in the centres. Bigger body. He's up against Katoni Staggs. So, yeah, I got Kurt Catwell anytime. Wise 1-12. Run at me. I also do have a little bit of a note there back for that Melbourne game. The Dolphins have never beaten Melbourne too, so yeah, that's just something I should have thrown in there when I was talking about it. Up next, Roosters versus Penrith. I'm going Pars. I'm going Penrith. Martin and Mark Nowawaski. You know who I'm talking about when I say that. The Union Boy. I'm going Union Boy. I'm going Liam Martin. And I'm going Pars to win and money line. All right. I'm not taking any overs, unders, whatever you want to say there. Gold Coast Titans versus Canberra Raiders. What do I got here? I got Marky Nicholson and Jaden Campbell to score any time. Just a quick 2 easy and into anytime try scorers. Sorry. Sharks Knights. Aiden Fanua-Blake. AFB, baby. Hiroti, who scored 3 of his last tries in 3 of his last games. So I just thought that looked like money. And he's paying like $2.90. And then I got Sharks winning on. So nothing to do with Newcastle in there. But just will mention, if you're a Newcastle guy and you want to back Newcastle, probably take Badman Best. He's paying like $3.10. I've got him here on the sign. He's paying $3.10. Tigers versus Parramatta Eels. Now we'll jump into the drama, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just quickly start off by stating my multi. Parramatta to win. 1-12. Adokar. Thanks for coming, guys. The drama I want to talk about, which I think everyone knows. Lesser side of the drama, Mitchell Moses is back for Para, so that stands out as a big opportunity for Para to get back in the wins, getting the wins up again, having their number 7. And we know how much of a gamer Mitchell Moses is. Like, he can make or break a game. Can he do it on club level all the time? No. Can he do it on state of origin level? Yes. Will he turn up for this game? I think so. I'd like to think so. And then Tigers, man. A lot of controversy going on the club with Lockie Galvin. Luai has come out, put a bunch of stuff on social media. Taruva also done the same. And it just seems like a bunch of little bickering girls on lunchtime, right, in high school. They're just bickering. Okay, I get it. We might have to do a whole nother Fighting Field Insights news segment to cover all this, because there's a lot to go through. But, Lockie Galvin officially said he's moving on from the club. Effective, not immediately. I'm not too sure about it all, guys, okay? I'm not a news guy. I just know there's controversy there with him leaving, and he said, don't offer me another contract, I don't want it, all right? He's not even going to look at it. That's from what I've heard. It's drama. I don't think teams play well when there's drama. I don't think there's good rugby league does not get played when there's drama on a side. When there's bickering and behind the scenes, similar to the Daly Cherry Evans thing, but I think that's been handled really well. When it's like player on player drama, that's when it gets ugly, and that's when teams start to lose focus, start to lose sight of what they're actually there to do. That's play footy and win games. So yeah, Lockie Galvin won't be playing for them, which I still think affects them somewhat. I mean, Lockie Galvin's a bit of a gamer, and I think it's just the drama, So I'm going to take Parramatta to win that one. I will just say, the whole time I was trying to talk about that game, extreme cramping, okay? Extreme cramping. Bit of an ex-athlete, so it's going to happen sometimes. That's why I was squirming in pain, if anyone was worried. That's all I've got for my picks, all right? So I hope you're jotting down notes. I hope you're taking notes. Because that's all I've got on that part. But I got a quick board done up. We had one done up last week, got one done up this week. Give you a quick run through here. Whatever's in. I guess I can just look here. Cash cows, locks, long shots. If you don't know them, where were you last week? All right, but I'll quickly run you through them. Cash cows are players, fighters, teams that they're paying good money, and I expect them to win. Locks, guaranteed wins. All right, you're not going to get much from them, but they're probably going to win. And then long shots, they're ones that might not go through. Okay, they probably won't go through. It's Sunday, you're out of options, and you just need to try and make the money back you've lost. There's your long shots. So for my cash cows, I've got the Warriors paying $2.85 on the money line. That's a cash cow play. Roosters, $2.20. That's a cash cow play. Even though I know what I said about Parramatta. Yeah, Penrith, sorry. But I still think, how Penrith have been playing, it's probably best if you take the underdogs all the time. Titans, $2.10. Once again, unpredictability puts them there. You don't know if they're going to win or if they're going to lose. Eels, $2.15. Come on, cuz. I just ran you through what's going on there. The locks, Bulldogs, just the matchup there, South Sydney injuries and that. Melbourne Storm, it's granted I shouldn't even have to go into it. They've been locks 2 weeks in a row. And then the Sharks, the Knights suck. Long shots, Rabbitohs, injuries and that. Bulldogs and that. The Finns, $4.40 once again. Rabbitohs, anything goes over $3.50, I'm going to take it. Finns, anything over $3.50, I'm going to take it. And then Newcastle, if you're really desperate, Newcastle's there. Newcastle's there. I'm pretty sure it's a Sunday game too, so you might get up on your losses. And then something I've done new this week. I've looked into a couple of try scorers who I think are good value, and that's Ruben Garry, $2.60. Okay, I like that out of a centre. Jai Gray, he's just a bit of a prolific try scorer at the moment, so $3.35. Don't mind if I do. Trell Mint, $3.50. I think he's a little bit, even though he's playing at number 6, if he's up on that 10, 20 metre mark, he's a little bit dangerous. He's a little bit hard to stop, even for a Bulldogs defence. Euron Aitken, $4.25. Scored last week. I think he could do it again. $4.25 is crazy good odds for a centre. The Hammer, $2.25. He's scoring tries like there's no tomorrow. You could even dabble on that being a double. Melbourne defence is a little bit better though than Penrith. Herbie Farnworth, $3.40. I think I've said it every week. Herbie looks keen for a try. Let's get him one. Metcalf, he's scored many a tries. Scored one last week and the week prior to that they weren't in the bye or whatever. I think they had a bye, I'm not sure. So yeah, Metcalf, $3.90, that's good odds. Dozer, $4.25. Haven't seen him go across the line a little bit, and he's a bit crafty on the old number 6. Marky Mark, Union Boy, it's good odds, $2.75. I like him. He's a bit of a prolific try scorer as well, so get him in there for me. And then McLean, $2.60 for one of the main try scorers for Penrith this year. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Matty Nicholson, $3.45. Okay, we already dressed him. He's, for a bigger boy, he likes to get that ball across the line. I've seen him do it, and I'm a believer in him. AJ Brimo, $3.25. He scored plenty of tries this year. Scored one last week. Jaden Campbell loves his line breaks, $3.70. Come on, cuz. Really liking that one. Jesse Ramian at $2.90. Keep on begging the rugby league gods to let this guy score. I think he deserves it. Okay. Nakura, $2.60. It is like this guy scores tries. That's a bit of a lock. And it's against Newcastle too, cuz. Where's the Newcastle defence when he's pushing up and 10 metres out? Bradman Best, $3.10. I think he's one of the best centres in the comp. Will Penasini, $2.90. I'm not sure. Don't fact check me. I don't think he scored a try this year, so come on, cuz. And then Stafford, $2.85 for the Tigers. He is one of the highest try scorers for the team this year, so I like him. But yeah, that is try scorers, cash cows, locks, long shots. I got a little box down here. A cheeky pony, a cheeky little horse race, cheeky little tip from a fellow punter. Okay, all right, we're gonna dabble in a little bit of ponies here tonight. Randwick race 5 needs some luck. Okay, because I've been needing some luck. All right. Before you ask, no, I've done no research into this horse. I don't know how much the jockey weighs. I don't know, what anything about horse racing. To be honest, I'm a bit of a horse racing nerd. I go off heart. So yeah, need some luck. Because we need some luck. If this horse goes through, I think it's paying $18. No, $6. It's a $6 favorite. $6 favorite. Sorry guys, $6 favorite. Need some luck. Randwick race 5 on Saturday. I'm doing everyone a favour there. So yeah. But no, guys, I think that's it. I think that's all I've got to say here for tonight on Punters Playbook. Sort of run through everything. We've touched base on footy, a little bit of horse racing. Obviously, you can probably tell there's no UFC on here. There's no UFC this week, okay? We've got a UFC-less week. That comes back next week. But yeah, that's all we got to say. That's all we got to cover here tonight, guys. Yeah. hopefully you guys got some insights, some fight and field insights into this weekend's round of punting. All right. Hopefully some of my multis might help your multis. Hopefully some of these little stats on here might help you out. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. And, yeah, I'll see you in the next episode of Punters Playbook.